We're here with David Lopez, who's the CEO of AGS, one time called American Gaming Systems, I think.
Going back a long time, yeah.
And it was a company that started, I believe, with what you might call extra-legal slot machines in South Carolina. And then when they were declared not legal, they said, well, let's take what we have and know and sell games in Class 2 America.
Class 2, that's right.
And then eventually this became American Gaming Systems, selling Class 3 games. And now you're about to go through another evolution and take this once private company that became public-private again through an acquisition. So tell us a little bit about what you see through all of these changes, but what you see instead for the future of AGS as a technology company, a games company.
Yep. I think it's interesting that you bring up the past, right? The company's evolved quite a bit, right? We did start in the Carolinas, and your history is rather accurate, I would assume, going back with what I know. But Class 2 was obviously our real inroads were in Oklahoma, and Choctaws, Chickasaws, but really the model was primarily started with the Chickasaw tribe, which they're still a very important customer to us. When we combined with Cadillac Jack, you'll remember you asked the question like, hey, what's your game plan here? And we're going to put two Class 2 companies together, and we're going to make a Class 3 company here that's more formidable. Yeah, and 1 + 1 will equal 3 on this one, which it did this time, right? We had a lot of questions about how two Class 2 companies will do well in Class 3. How are you going to compete? How are you going to get in there with the big guys? We had 0 ship share. Now, depending on how you measure as the segments that we're in, around 8+%. There's a report that gets put out on that, right?
Familiar with it.
But now, we were private, went public, going back private again. I think we've grown in all segments, whether we've been private or public. You see spurts of growth on both sides there. As far as the future goes, I think you'll see more globalization of AGS. We haven't maxed out by any stretch of our imagination the North American market, so we still have plenty of growth to do in Canada, in the U.S., in Mexico. But you're going to see more of us in Latin America. You're going to see more of us internationally. We'll be entering the Australian market. This quarter, we will sell our first real quantity of games to Asia. So I'm happy about that. My past, we used to do a lot of business in Asia with Shuffle Master. So it's more globalization. For us, a lot more in the real money gaming space online. And then as far as technology goes, technology is interesting. Anybody say the 2 letters AI yet in here? Has that happened?
We've heard it.
Yeah. So we'll just go with intelligence, right? Whether it be human or artificial, right? I think that tech is going to, I think I can sit here sort of for the first time and really say, I think tech's going to really have a huge impact on the industry. We're always behind, right? We're always a little behind the curve to the regulators. They're very cautious. Thank you, regulators, because they don't want us to do things that would, maybe go the wrong way. But I think that we're going to see tech have an influence behind the scenes, right? Where we're developing products, developing games, how we test things, how we monitor the activities of successful games, how players behave with them, and the different technology that'll be used for that. So sort of like to give you a little bit of color, yes, change in AGS going forward is just more investment internationally, more investment into product, which we've got a lot going on in the booth this year, and then of course technology. We're gonna have to, we'll ramp up our technology investment because I really do believe that it's going to be something that changes the game going forward.
So whether you're public, whether you're private, you still have your game plan for growing AGS.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're public or private. When you're private, you can do it in a different way. Public is more prescribed and it's a little bit more, steady as she goes. and that's the right way to do it. You want to, make sure you're focused on certain metrics. When you're private, things are a little bit different the way that you'll run a company, but generally speaking, it's all the same objective. If you look out 3 to 5 years, you may end up in the exact same space from a growth point of view. You just sort of got there in a little bit different way. But I do believe that for us, it just happens to also be at a point in time where we're globalizing a little bit more. Some will be surprised to see us in the Australian market. Nobody will be surprised now, I guess. But we'll be there, and we'll be in Asia, and we'll get into Europe in the not too distant future.
So, even though you guys are going private here through an acquisition in the future, it doesn't mean that M&A still is not an issue for you, because it's a dynamic industry. There's still a lot of opportunities to be on the A side of that, I should think.
Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of M&A in the space right now, consolidation in the space. We've talked about it before. I always think consolidation is great for our industry. Right now, it's, AGS being acquired, that's not consolidation. IGT and Every are merging. Apollo's back in the game again, right? When you look at that, I think we're ripe for some consolidation. We've got some of the little guys that are popping up, got a little Blueberry in there. I'll put a little shout out for those guys. We know them. So it's good to have consolidation, because the creativity and the teams that are put together and the cultures in those companies, they just add a lot of fire to our industry. And if we just we're big four and nothing changed, there's no consolidation at all, it can get stale, right? And so I think these little green shoots here and there are great for the industry, and consolidation helps make space for that. So I think that's great. And then you and I were just discussing that in our space, there's a lot of companies that are products. They're not necessarily a portfolio of products that constitute a company. And I think that M&A, you see us doing it in the industry. We've done a ton of it at AGS in the past. I'm probably hitting my mic 100 times here. But the acquiring of companies that are really sort of singular products, I think you'll see a lot of that. As you see the larger company consolidations, you'll see that in the smaller companies, a lot of consolidating there, which again is good, because those products usually can become more successful, more formidable, introduce more technology, and just be better for our industry in general. And I think that the industry, the fun economy, as Bo Bernhardt calls it, right? The fun economy, which I don't know if you ever have them on your interviews, but you should. It's still growing. It's growing at a tremendous rate. And the stats that he quotes is like the fun economy, which, wraps a lot in there, but something like, 10% of the global GDP or something. It's really amazing. So we're all going to be a part of that. But I do think this consolidation will sort of be another point in time where we can look back and say that was really good for the industry. And I think it's always been good. Just doesn't always appear to be right away. Right? So tech will rear its head here pretty soon, and I think you'll see a lot going on with it.
In terms of your own product development and what you have on the floor this year, what are some of the products that people absolutely must see?
I always say all of them, right? But I think this year, if you were to see a couple of things that maybe haven't been in the past, it's our mech reels. We're in the mech reel business now. More affordable, more formidable display of mech reels than ever before. We also have a jumbo cabinet that we don't call jumbo. I've been sworn to not call it jumbo, but it's the Spectra 75, and it's really big, so it's a jumbo cabinet. And
it's a generic jumbo.
Yeah, we'll just say it's something else, but it's a jumbo cabinet, right? Does great. It's out there in the market already. Fantastic numbers, great games that we launched it with. I think that we've got the largest, every year I say, right, and probably go back, and this sounds like a broken record. It's the largest, best lineup of products that we've ever had at G2E. And it better be. And I say that it better be, because we're growing. We're spending more on R&D, right? We're as a company, we're a bigger company than we've ever been before. Every year better be better, and every year better be a little bit more, right? So this year, you see, we call it swim lanes. We're in more swim lanes than we've ever been before. go back to when you first entered me at AGS, probably like in class 3, we're in 0 swim lanes. We weren't participating at all, 0% chip shot. Then we went to like a couple cabinets, right? We had a dual screen icon, then we had the Orion cabinet portrait. Now we have about 5 or 6 cabinets. I think we got 7 or 8 configurations, and even the jumbo and the mech reel were really a complete portfolio. When private equity bought us before, questions probably somewhere in the archives of, hey, what's the plan? And it's to be a diversified, full portfolio gaming supplier globally, right? And so now we have our table games, we have shufflers, we're introducing or sneak peeking our latest product there, which is an MD shuffler. Got great progressives there, right? We're in the EGM business, and we're in online, social, and real money gaming. So there we go, we're diversified within the segments, and now we're a global gaming supplier, or well on our way.
Okay, great. That's a pretty good overview, David. Anything else you would like folks to know about AGS?
No, I think for our customers, we do get asked the question, like, hey, public, private, whatever. For our customers, they know the drill before. We were private. We gave great service. We thought it was great for our customers when we were private. Private ownership had changed quite a few times, as you gave a little bit of history there. We went public. We got the question. Nothing changed. It was great for the customers. I think we're going to, public or private, we're going to provide the same level of service. We're going to have that same fire that we always have. I think that our culture is very important, and nothing changes there. So
you're going to keep on cooking.
Keep on cooking. Look at you. You know the theme this year. I like it. Good work.
David,
Good
thank
deal.
you.
Thanks, man.